Hello, everybody. Happy May 8th, 2020. My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talents in Connecticut. And on today's show, we have a former Bristol Blue and currently at Springfield College. His name, Brendan Kirk. Brendan, thanks so much for being able to come on today.
Thank you very much.
You know what, Brendan? I think before we go into your time with the Blues, I think for the people that may not know who you are, tell the people who, as I stated, may not know and be familiar with you as a pitcher and a person itself. Describe yourself a little bit.
I'm a fun, outgoing guy. Ever since I was a little kid, my parents taught me just how to be kind to everyone and just be inclusive and all that. And all throughout my high school days and all that, it's just been an amazing time to go through. All the people I've met, the relationships I've met. I can't thank enough for what my family's done. And huge shout out to all my friends that have helped along the way.
Now, what got you into playing baseball? Were you someone that played multiple sports, or was baseball kind of like the main sport for you?
When I was little, my two main sports had always been baseball and basketball. I really never got into soccer. But I just started playing baseball. All my friends played in my town league, little league, when we were all younger. And then it just sort of shifted where I was like, I've been doing pretty good at this baseball thing. And I was trying to play infield too, but it turned out in high school I just thought it would be better for me to just become a pitcher only because that's what I was like most successful at. And then I just started focusing on that. Obviously, I played basketball in high school too, but really towards the beginning of high school was when I really started driving and doing my stuff with baseball.
And you talk about your high school, Notre Dame West Haven, a very good school as far as all sports, but particularly in baseball, having an opportunity to see them because I went to school in New Haven at Albertus, and a lot of times we shared the same field, Quigley, before Albertus built the new field, which is, I think, right down the street from the college. But Notre Dame West Haven's produced a lot of talent from Division 1, 2, and 3. So for you, that must have been something to be able to be kind of, in some ways, a college atmosphere just because of all the talent that you had.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Learning from all the coaches, especially Peter J. He was a pitcher at University of New Haven, and he taught us all about just focusing on what you can control, and just the team atmosphere. I had always been like around Notre Dame since I was really little because my dad worked there. My uncle went there. He played basketball there. My grandfather went there, and my grandfather worked there. So I had my whole family. I have all family ties to Notre Dame, so I really knew the insides and out before pretty much anyone in my graduating class had because of my experience with the school. But it was a great experience.
So if you didn't go to Notre Dame West Haven, would you have been shunned from all family gatherings?
Probably, yes.
I kind of figured that. So what led you to Springfield? Were you getting recruited by them early, late on? Describe that to me.
I went to a couple showcases like sophomore, junior year, and I was really like I started to, and I always wanted to be a physical therapist and do studies with that. And knowing that Springfield College was known for good health sciences and stuff like that, I did my research and talked to the coaches there, and they were going to some of these what's it called, the thing
having a brain fart.
Yeah, the showcases. That's what it is. They went to some of the showcases, and I got to talk to them after that. And then when I went on visits and stuff, and they just had a very gradual step up from my high school because it was pretty small. It was only about like 500 combined kids, and it was all boys. So it was like kind of a similar atmosphere, very team-oriented atmosphere where we make a lot of relationships, not only within the baseball team, but on campus. And 2 years into it, I think I made one of the best decisions of my life to go there because of all the relationships with the coaches and the teammates that I've already made there. So.
And another great decision that you made, pitching for the Bristol Blues. Now, you came on late into that season last summer.
Yep.
Talk to me about kind of how the Blues even discovered you, because I know the Blues were dealing with both injuries and, pitchers hitting their limits in terms of innings and
Yep.
such. So how did you end up coming to Bristol?
So one day my Legion coach, Ray Garino, he contacted me, texted me about this position after our season was done.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to talking on the phone, and I told him I would love to take the opportunity because of what league the Blues were in. It would be just a great opportunity to show my skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And it just stemmed from there. I got in contact with Coach, and then I was up and at him within a week, and came to the first game was Pink Night, and I was able to meet the guys. And I knew two of the guys before, Dylan Reynolds and Sam Loda. I used to play with Sam when I was really little. Mm-hmm. And then same with Dylan. He's from my town. He went to Notre Dame. So we've been close friends forever now. But yeah, I came on late in the season, but probably one of the most enjoyable 2 weeks of my life because of how good the guys were and how good the competition was and just the team atmosphere within the Blues.
And you mentioned about both Dylan Reynolds and Sam Loda, two probably high-class guys. It was great that you were able to know them even before coming on the team, yep. But two high-character kind of players. And it had to be comfortable for you that you kind of got thrown into the fire right away. You pitched August 2nd, your first appearance against the Suns. That was in Pittsfield. You pitched pretty well. 3 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 3 Ks. Talk to me about that appearance, both when you got the call to warm up and then you stepped on the mound.
It was a little. I knew I was going to be able to come into this game, so I was kind of preparing myself. But right before I threw my actual first pitch in the game, Dylan came up to me and told me just relax. There's really nothing different. There's a bunch of people in the stands, but just think of it like a normal Little League game when I used to play against them. No one there, and just focus on you and the batter and the catcher and just have a catch. And that's pretty much all I've done throughout my pitching career. Just think of it as a catch between me and my catcher. No really pressure situations because that could influence the outcome and how I pitch and stuff. But yeah, it was a surreal experience. My mom actually was able to come up and travel all the way up from Hamden to Pittsfield and get a couple of good pictures of me. And I was thankful for that. And then also I got to one of my strikeouts was a teammate of mine, Jack Cooney. And it was just a surreal experience being able to see one of my good college buddies up there and be able to compete against them in that sort of environment.
It's great that your family was able to come up and kind of cherish that memory. And, who would have thought that? I mean, I don't think anybody would have imagined that you'd be pitching, and I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit, August 8th against North Shore, Game 3, do or die. Did you have a feeling that after the Blues came back in what was I was
Crazy.
watching the game at home, man, and I was shocked, surprised, thrilled, a bunch of the emotions all into one. I mean, did you have a feeling that you were going to pitch or at least potentially pitch Game 3?
I kind of had a feeling. One of the coaches told me that if they asked me if I was available, and I said, hell yeah, I am. Just trying to be as confident as possible because that's where you get your success from, just being confident in yourself. And when I got in there, I was like, in the first couple of innings, the game was kind of getting away. I didn't know if they were going to use me or not. And then once we started getting close, they were telling me to warm up and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I got to get my mind right again. So I was able to quickly do that. And then just getting in that situation, I thought Dylan told me the same thing again, just to relax and be myself. Don't think anyone else is in the crowd, even though it was a packed crowd. But it was just a surreal experience. I was able to do my job for the most part of getting us in, keeping us in the game, and giving us a chance to win, pretty much, overall.
No, you pitched brilliant, man. I mean, 4 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 Ks, 21 batters faced. A North Shore team that was in the top 3 amongst all offensive categories. And you kept them at bay and allowed Bristol to be able to get themselves some momentum and put on some extra runs. A big question I want to ask you, too, about is that you had Loda behind the plate. Do you think that it was beneficial for you because you had not just Loda, but you also had Reynolds, who were both veterans as far as being in kind of big games postseason before? So that allowed you to be able to kind of stay within yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with guys that I have played with before, know their tendencies, and just am overall comfortable with them. It helped me a great deal out there, being able to just trust my stuff, throw whatever I want when I want it, be able to hit the strike zone, and just let the game come. Let the game come to me. Like, if someone gets a hit, I just shake it off. Or if someone puts the ball in play, I know my teammates are there behind me to be able to scoop it up and get an out for me.
Dwayne, Defensive Player of the Year on the run, gets the out. And the 1-2-3 inning for Kirk.
And in those 4 innings that you pitched, what part did you feel like, okay, I'm on my game? Was it the first strikeout? Was it the first pitch after the first inning? Tell me.
I really think it was when I somehow got the bases loaded.
I remember
and then
that.
I was able to get out of that.
Yep.
I think that was the inning where I struck out all 3 guys.
Yes,
but
it was.
I think once I got that first strikeout, and after that inning, I was able to really be confident in what I was doing and know that I was competing with these top Division 1, Division 2 guys coming from a small Division 3 school like me. But I was able to grow my confidence from that.
And I'm glad that you mentioned it grew your confidence. It gave you now hey, I can pitch in big games. And it not only showed your, Springfield College, but I think in some ways, even though everybody says, even yourself and any other athlete that says, I believe in myself, but when it comes down to situations where it's basically, if I don't make this pitch, our season could be over. And maybe in some ways, you prove to yourself, I can do this.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. It was able to just let me be comfortable in my own skin and know that I'm just going out there and doing my thing.
Brendan, we got a couple minutes left. I really do appreciate you being able to come on. It's always fantastic to talk to, former Blues who I was able to broadcast and see. And even though I only saw you for 2 weeks, the thing that really stood out to me beyond the fact of you're basically a $110 soaking wet, elbows, knees, and toes. At least that's what your dad told me. But, that curveball, man, tell me, did you always have that pitch? Because the one thing, and I wrote this down in my notes, because typically when I see pitchers, and if I see them more than once, I'll do a little scouting report just so I can use that for the broadcast. I called your curveball a come from the heavens.
Yep.
So tell me, where did you learn that pitch?
I honestly, when I was little, I really never took any pitching lessons, did anything of that. It always just came natural to me. I don't know. It was just God's gift. And I do attribute it a little bit to my mom, all my pitching abilities. She kind of dislocated my arm when I was younger, so I think that helped me out a little bit of a movie sort of setting, I think. But just being able to work, I fiddled around with different grips all around, when I was starting to throw it, because when I was younger, my dad was like, don't throw a curveball, I don't want you to hurt your arm.
Smart man.
But yeah, once I really started getting into competitive situations, where I needed a curveball and needed off speed, it just really came natural to me. I kind of just filled it with a couple different grips. And over the past summer with my Legion team, I was able to develop more of a differentiated version, which was a slider, because I really only had a curveball. So I was able to implement a new pitch called slider, and I was able to figure out and differentiate the grips between that and create more of a 12-6 on my curveball, and then more of a sharp break at the end of my slider. So having that was definitely beneficial in finding ways to be more competitive in at-bats and stuff.
That's awesome, man. I mean, being able to see the growth, even though it was only for a short time, hopefully those experiences, even though this past season, as far as the college season, was shortened, hopefully everyone can move on. This can move on, and you can pitch again. You know what? But Brendan, thanks so much for being able to come on. I really do appreciate it, and being able to talk about your career a little bit, and then also your time with the Bristol Blues. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you very much.
That'll wrap things up here in the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.